Talk Radio.
Hello, I'm Spirit Medium Laura, your host of this radio show. I've been channeling spirit for over 30 years and recently was chosen for the 2014 book 100 Top Psychics in America. Here's how to love your readings on this radio show. L is for let spirit lead. O is for only one question or connection per caller. V is for validate all advice of a licensed professional. And E is for enjoy the show. Stay tuned for additional announcements.
I don't know what to say today. I have nothing to say, everybody. I feel tongue-tied. I've been concentrating on other things this morning, running around, rushing around, doing this and that. Not the best frame of mind for being centered, focused, and internally aware, which is the way that a medium actually works, is being in a meditative state of mind. But I am going to attempt to slow us all down in the middle of this busy day. It's 1 p.m. Eastern Time here on the East Coast of the United States, and wherever you are, just convert the time. This show will be focusing in on mediumship. Means I'm only going to be discussing or bringing in those people who have transitioned to the other side, our loved ones in spirit. The show is approximately 1 hour in length. The next 10 to 15 minutes, I'll be talking to you about related subjects. The phone number to get in the reading queue is area code 347-945-5849. And please don't reveal too much information, as we like Spirit to bring us the validation as best as we can. On the website for this radio show, which is spiritmediumtv.com, you can get a big sale, a huge sale on a private session with me, a third off the 30-minute session. It's item number 1A on that page, spiritmediumtv.com. You can also jump to the top of the reading queue. We already have somebody who has made a donation. It's only $5. Otherwise, just wait in the queue. I do get to people who are just waiting in the queue as well. And that would be item number 1B on spiritmediumtv.com. And then last but not least, on spiritmediumtv.com, you can RSVP for the Intuitive Playground, which happens online in a virtual webinar community every Monday from 8 p.m. Eastern Time through 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Primarily, I have classes teaching you how to be a medium from clairsentience, clairaudience, clairvoyance, and claircognizance, right on up to special events. So this coming Monday, which would be the 23rd of June, I will be finishing channeling for mediumship or clairaudience, which is clearly hearing spirit. And we're going to be doing a regression, past life regression meditation. Okay? And you can just drop into that if you'd like. But I will be asking you to read. Okay, to read for yourself and read for others, because that's one of the primary reasons of having the Intuitive Playground, in that it is interactive with other people who are developing. But you will be enjoying a beautiful past life regression meditation. It's only $20 for one Intuitive Playground. And if you care to take all four, which is for July 7th, we start with all four for the next month. We'll be focusing in July on seeing spirit or clairvoyance, clearly seeing. Okay, and it's only $60. You don't have to leave your house. You get to see other people. You get to work. You get a full-fledged, full-blown quality presentation, which is yours to keep afterwards, and fantastic exercises guaranteed to blow you away, open up your intuitive gifts. And that's all obtainable by going to spiritmediumtv.com, and item number 3 on that page will give you some links to register for the playground. But I didn't say this. On June 30th, which is between two different classes, I'm going to have a special webinar. And that's $20. It's a special webinar, and it's what the other side is like from the mouths of our own loved ones in spirit. I call it the Afterlife Discovery Webinar. Your loved ones speak out. and speak through me. Not everybody that attends will get a personal connection. It's not about that as much as it is what is the afterlife like, although I will be looking for subjects from the other side through the attendees. And I will be asking those subjects after making a validated connection and seeing them as a clear connection. Things like, what do they look like? Do they have a body? What's the body like? How do they move around? What's it feel like to be able to be in multiple places at the same time, or live in a dimension where there's no time? How do they experience time? How do they experience jumping into our life to say hello to us? Can they jump into any part of our life, past, present, and future? I mean, when you think about it, the possibilities for this type of a seminar are unlimited. So if you're curious about the other side, want to have a first-hand view at what it is like, what the other side is like, or what the afterlife is like, excuse me, attend the Afterlife Discovery webinar on June 30th, and you can do that by going to spiritmediumtv.com. Item number 3 will have a special link for that. There is a fee involved. It's a minor, small fee for what you get. You don't have to leave your own home. It's done via the internet, and it will be a webinar. Not everybody that attends can be on the webinar. In other words, I'm probably going to be the only one on the webinar, although I can bring in people, different ones that are attending as I designate. But I can only have 5 video feeds up at once, which is fine, because if I'm working with somebody, I'll bring that one on, and then I will release that person, and the next one will come on. But everybody attending will hear it, and I will record an audio of that for you. Okay, so I don't have really much of a inspiration today. I don't know why. I mean, I have certainly been working with a lot of clients, and all kinds of things have been happening, but nothing really that I would consider to be inspirational. So what I'm going to do is check for any more donations. Oh, there are a few. Oh my goodness. Okay, there's 3. Let me just get them down. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if there's any inspiration from these individuals I'm working with. You never know. I'm going to have a little more interaction with the first couple of people I work with. And I like that too. That's fun. Hold on one second, please. Got all kinds of people here waiting for their session. Oh, that's a different one. I'll have to find out who that is. That's not the same thing as what we're doing here. Okay. All righty then. Okay, so moving right along, I'm going to go to the first donation if she's in the queue. If not, I just go, well, there's another one here also. Okay, 905 is Joy. Joy, hello.
Yes, hello, Laura.
Hi.
It's Joy again.
Yes.
I just wanted to thank you for the last time. It was so helpful, and I think I figured out who you were trying to bring to me, who was trying to come through the first time. So it's funny how that happens.
It is.
Initially you can't sort of like whatever. So so I have some more questions or people coming through. I'm just really open to a lot of support right now.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
you can bring.
Okay. Yeah, and that's a very good point you're bringing out. I had Joy on the show. I do remember you a couple of months ago, maybe it was, or 6 weeks. Who knows? I don't know. I have no sense of time anymore. But it was in the near past, not too far away in the past. And I think I brought in your mother finally. But in the beginning, I had some other soul there, and you didn't recognize. And I always say to people, you should always pay attention to what comes in. It's a chronic condition, or shall I say a challenge for my work, Joy, and everyone listening, that quite often souls will come in and the sitter or the person receiving the messages is wanting to only hear from, or they have in their mind, this person or that person, and quite often the messenger, the one who's coming in, is for a reason, as you mentioned. Would you care to, without revealing too much, I'm just curious, what was the significance? I think it was somebody who you thought might have been a teacher to you or something like that. The first soul.
You described them as having a bit of a tummy and a bit of a beard and being kind of like jolly or having a and what I realized afterwards, it was probably a friend of mine named Tom, and yeah, so I just
Yeah.
you said this male had a real presence, and he was a real martial arts kind of master,
Yeah.
and I afterwards it was probably him. So yeah.
Yeah, and
So that was
yeah, it's interesting. And then the other thing is that yeah, the souls, I call them people. They're not dead. They're just in a different dimension. They come in because they can and they want to. They want to be heard. They may not be shy, for example. They may have a better skill at communicating through a medium, and certainly have the easiest energy to connect with the medium. Because on my end, on the receiving end, it's like if you're listening to a radio or even a phone call, if you will, or a TV station. Some connections are clearer than others. It's the same thing with mediumship. Some signals are stronger than others, and so it is. Okay, so and I believe that we had your mother come in, and I think she's a lovely lady that liked to garden. Is that correct? Is that the one that I brought in?
That's correct.
Yeah, yeah, that was.
And you actually brought my sister through too, so that was actually just last week. So.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. I forgot
Yeah.
about last week. I only remember at the mom. Oh, so last week it was the jolly guy that was the teacher, and then your sister. I remember now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And your sister had cancer? Did she have cancer?
That's correct. And it's just given me such ease to know that she's, on the other side. And I thought it was really very entertaining the way that she was communicating to you, because she was really she was really quite being quite humorous about her her condition. She was actually a paranoid schizophrenic, and she spent most of her life preparing cases against people that were irrational, right? And so she was and she loved words, and so all the things that she was saying were really very funny. Like there was this whole sort of, like, you picked that up, that she was kind of making fun of herself a little bit.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So it was incredibly clear, and just really really helped my heart.
Yeah. Yeah, now let's see who else wants to come in for you. And I'm using you in a way, Joy. Please excuse me for using you, but what I'm using you for is inspiration. For the inspiration part of the show is your feedback is. Thank you so much for that. So let's see who is in spirit. Well, of course, they're all there, but let's see who wants to step forward for Joy. Hold on. Mother. Okay, Mother is here again. I also started to feel a father figure before for you, but let me just see. Let me see who wants to speak right now. Who's the strongest? Well, there's a woman that it looks. I had said to you that I thought that your mother was your grandma when I first brought her in, but I want to honor who I see right now, and she looks older than your. She looks like she would be a grandma again, but I don't think it's your mom. I think it's your grandma. Okay, I see a woman who's very dainty, very slender. Uh, she's wearing another one with a hat. She's got a straw hat on with a brim, like a hanging. It has a couple of flowers around the top of the hat. She's got eyes that are very interesting. I don't want to spend a lot of time on her unless you can recognize her. A smaller nose, pointed, pursed lips that look red as if she might have worn lipstick. Sometimes they do that to show me. From time to time, she liked to primp and wear makeup. They show it to me like that. She's very slender. Her eyes are. She's very pretty. Okay, and in her youth, she probably would have been considered quite a gorgeous woman. And she's also showing me that she's at an advanced age, but she's showing me original color was probably in the brown hair color range. It could be your mother too, because there's a lot of similarity, if I recall, from your mother. But this,
I think it's probably my mother.
Okay, and because she wore a hat. Yeah, she wore a hat last time.
It could be a great aunt. It could be my mother's aunt.
Okay, and the hair is the original color is brown, not dark, or more of a medium brown. But she shows me two types. she shows me her original color and also shows me the white or hair that's gotten whiter. In other words, she's given me both tonalities to the hair to let me know what original color it was. Like to primp, like to wear a lipstick every now and then, not overdo it. She says I didn't overdo it too much with the makeup. She laughs a little bit, but I did like to take care of myself, and that's why she shows me that. She shows me, and we'll firm up who this is. She shows me the hair is about a little below the ear in length. It's sitting under the hat. She shows me an ovalness to the face, but also the chin is a little bit distinctive in that it more is a pointed chin versus a square jawline. So it's more of a pointed. So that usually is let me see the rest of the face. It's a little bit what they call a heart-shaped face, where you more of a point on the chin area, but you have a wider, broader forehead there. Let me see if there's anything. I want to see a couple of other things. Also, the word rose is coming in, rose. So rose could be significant of roses that she liked roses, or it could be a name that's in the family. It doesn't necessarily have to be her name. I get the word rose, and I also hear her say rose petals. Rose petals are good for your health. Now, that's an interesting thing to say. Usually, people who work with aromatherapy use rose petal oil, which is one of the highest frequency oils there is. I don't know if you're familiar with that or not, but I have a funny feeling that you are. I think that's why she's saying this. Yeah. Okay. So see how she's giving me this message. It's a little interesting because you're an herbologist. You understand nutritional products and also herbs and aromatherapy and all those kind of things. She's talking your language for the moment. She says you're very good in self-care and nutrition yourself, holistically inclined. And she says she loves you very much. She does say that she is your mother. I'm going to see if I can get one or two more things to go along with this. I don't remember what she passed of, and she's not giving me that now. But I still want to get a positive ID on her rather than her talk about you. Okay, hold on. Okay, herbs. Okay, so what she's saying is that you use some of your herbology knowledge, your knowledge of nutrition and supplements and natural holistic remedies in care of her when she was not feeling well. It's not only towards the end of her life, but also at various times in her life. She's also referring to something to do with menses, like menstruation and or periods, that kind of thing, that you were skilled in that area as well to help her with those things. So you seem to have a multifaceted kind of skill level here. Does this firm it to be your mother, please, or are you still not sure if it's your aunt?
No, it would have to be my mom.
Oh, because you did work with her on health issues?
Yes. Yeah. I used to muscle test her and check her for different things, and buy her stuff, and
Okay, and and even help her with hormonal balance and everything. You're very good at that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to have to call you later because that's one of my favorite subjects of late is hormonal balance. But anyway, your mother, so that's why she's talking about that. She wanted to give it another and unique way to identify herself, and it would be that. She wants to thank you for all the patience you had with her. She says because she wasn't always the best. She's using the word student, not patient. Best student of what you were doing, and at times she just sort of like did what you said and really didn't pay too much attention, nor even acknowledged the beauty and the bounty of what you did for her. And she appreciates that, and she wants to thank you for that. Now she laughs a little bit. Now she says, "I was a sour puss at times, or difficult to work with." And then she just laughs a little bit. She says that your father is there with her also, and she says something about him having cancer. Do you understand a father figure for you having cancer, please?
No. Okay. My father didn't have cancer.
Okay. I don't. Well, there's a father figure here, and she says something about cancer. So I'm going to just leave that for a moment.
Leave that with me. Yeah, it might be someone else that I'll come to remember. Yeah.
Okay, well, let me just see if I can do anything more with that. Hold on, because I think your father is in spirit because you said something earlier which tipped me off, but I also feel father figure.
Yeah, he is in spirit, but he didn't die of cancer. He committed suicide.
Okay, don't volunteer any information, sweetheart, okay? So, all right, thank you. So there's a father figure, and then she says something about cancer. So we leave that alone. We let it sit on the side. And then she says, as far as your father goes, Mom says, cancer of the brain is what it was, and she laughs a little bit. So she's trying to make it a little bit lighter, if you will. When we have If we are not feeling well about ourselves or what have you, we do that kind of thing to ourselves. He is there. He's a very complex person. He also says mentally incongruent at times. He says one of the reasons that he did what he did is because he analyzed things to the point where he could never really find solutions or answers. He overanalyzed, a highly analytical individual. Liked to work with his brain a lot, but sometimes to the point of self-suffocation, if you will. And so he's an analytical type. He's also a person who likes, interestingly enough, because I think I said this about your mother, if I don't remember correctly. So he's showing me crossword puzzle. I think it was your sister also was using the crossword puzzle as a way of showing me liked. In his case, he's using the crossword puzzle to tell me that he liked complex problems, liked to solve complex problems. And so this is the father figure I have here in front of me, who's saying his mind is mentally incongruent, overanalyzed things to the point of suffocation. Does that make sense to you, please?
I can take it. I really don't remember him that well anymore, and I didn't know him that well as
Okay.
when I was a young adult. So, but I can certainly take it, and it makes sense to me. But I can't say that I knew that about him.
Okay, not a problem. I don't want to go bring in, I'm supposed to only bring in one soul per person, but I did want to honor his presence. And I'm going to give him one more chance to give you something else that you would right off the cuff understand. Let me see if I can bring that in. And so there's a little bit of him being a clown, too. A little bit of him being a jokester and a clown. He shows me that as well. Actually, visually shows me himself as a clown. Now, that could mean that he did something foolish in his life that you didn't approve of. Maybe he was clownish, but he shows me himself as being a clown. I'm trying to see visually what he wants to show me about his body. Visuals are very important. Again, I don't know if this could be another soul that just popped in, but I just want to say I do see a man who's seems to have a little extra weight in the midsection area, and he's a little overweight. So I don't know if you remember your father's carrying a little excess weight on him. Do you understand that, please?
It wouldn't be my dad.
Okay.
Unless he thought that of himself.
Maybe. I don't know. So we have a little bit of a confusion here in terms of who we've got coming through. There's a couple of different people. But there's a person who comes in who likens himself to being a bit of a clown. And he also shows me himself as the Hardy, I think the Laurel side of Laurel and Hardy. Laurel was the fatter one. And that's the image he's giving me right now. So there's somebody else here who likens himself to being a bit of a clown and on a little overweight and likens himself to the team of the comedian team, Laurel and Hardy, and he's the fatter one or the heavier one, if you will. And he sits here also. So we need to acknowledge that. I have a part of your father, and I'm going to try to go back to that for a second. There's a feeling of length to his legs. I see straight pants on him with pleats in the front, pleated. I see complex intellectual. I just have to keep saying that. I see mid-color brown hair. I see the hairline is receding. I don't know how long he lived or where he lived to, but it looks like whatever he's showing me now is receding, or he's lost a lot of hair on the top of his head. He has a longer nose. His eyebrows.
That describes him, yeah.
Longer nose, eyebrows that go up a bit, like as if there's a bit of a arch to the brow. And he says, again, complex intellectual type. He does look like an actor. I see lines on his face. I'm trying to see the actor's name if I can find it. I can't remember the name of the actor. Thanks you, Spirit, for that, because I can't get the name of the actor. But he's more of a, how do I say, he's got a squareness to the jaw, but not exceptionally so. And I told you longishness to the nose, and he might have at some point in life worn a little bit of a mustache under his nose. Well, it's a little bit of a mustache, comes and goes, comes and goes. when it was more fashionable to have worn a mustache, if you will. Uh, and there's also something to do with, believe it or not, even though you say he committed suicide, there's something to do with heart troubles and or acknowledgement of the heart, perhaps feelings or love, and it's more of an abstract way of putting that. See if there's anything else he wanted. His shoulders, he shows me, as more on the sloping side than square shoulders. Do you understand, please, the shoulders?
Yes.
Okay. Well, he's here. He sends you love. And he's saying to me and through me that his taking his own life was not so much that he was morose or sad, but more that he just was a complex person who really could not see the sense of it all. And he's trying to say to you that he wasn't depressed. He just analyzed things that didn't make sense to him. So I want to leave that with you because there might be some questions as to what was going on in his mind at that time. Does that make sense to you, please?
Oh, totally, totally. Yeah. He backed himself into a corner for sure with his mind. That I get.
Okay. And it's like, and that's what he was trying to say earlier in ways that were a little obtuse, but now he's trying to tighten it up a little bit for you. He sends you his love. He says he was a little bit like a jokester in that he's saying now that he's done that, he sees the error of his ways, and that's where the clown comes in, and that's where the hardy comes in, is that he was looking at things in too much of he overanalyzed to suffocate himself and cause himself a lot of problems that way. And in turn, the reverberations of that are not positive. Your sister's got schizophrenia or had schizophrenia. Your father committed suicide. Your mother's a dear, loving woman, and you're fine, Joy. But having those kind of tragedies in your family can make you scratch your head sometimes and say, "What's it all about?"
Okay, that communication makes sense.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're
really helpful.
All right, honey. God bless him. Thank you, honey. Bye-bye.
Thank you for your gift.
Thank you, honey. Thank you. I'm going to call you because I have a question to ask you. I'll call you later. Bye.
Okay, great.
Thanks.
Bye.
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 Okay, I do have another person. Donna needs to be brought in. She's made a donation. Hold on. Donna. Hold on. There she is. Lovely Donna. Oh, and I forgot to say this to Donna, you, and to Joy. I want to thank you both for your donation. The animals appreciate that totally. Now, what can I do for you, Donna?
I have a question about a man named Cam. I'm just wondering if you see him and I reconciling at some point in the future, and if so, when?
Okay. Okay, this show only focuses in on the other side. In other words, connections to those in spirit, and you've made a donation. So I will make a connection to you to the other side with your permission, and I also will try to answer that question for you. The name is, what'd you say his name was?
Cam.
Ken, K-E-N?
No, Cam, C-A-M.
Oh, okay, wonderful, honey. Thank you, and I appreciate your donation, Donna. Because I do feel, and I do need to say this, there is somebody waiting in the spirit queue for you. There's a female. Okay, there's a woman here for you from the other side, and she has an L name to her, similar my name. Okay, similar Laura name, or maybe she's trying to say my name. I don't really know, but I hear Laura in my head, and I feel that she's a mother figure. And the name L, the L name, does not necessarily have to be her name, but I feel it's a mother figure for you in spirit. Now, mother figure would be grandma, aunt, your own mother. I'm not quite sure. She seems to have some significant difficulty with weight issues for most of her life, and she also seems to have something to do with cancer in her deceasement, if you will. Her hair. So she's carrying extra weight. I see her with extra weight on her body. Her hair is medium length. It's layered. It's got some wave to it, a little bit of curl to it. It seems to be in its original color in more of a blonde or lighter brown hair color. But also that could mean that she's just showing me the whiter hair as she gets to her older time in her life. She also shows me 2 children under her. Do you understand this for someone that you might know, please, Donna?
Possibly.
Yeah,
I think it might be somebody, but I'm not sure.
I'm actually thinking. Okay, this is interesting. You were married once before, weren't you? At least.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know where your mother-in-law is? Your ex-mother-in-law.
Yeah.
Is she alive?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, somebody there around that side of the family, believe it or not, because she said mother-in-law. This one in spirit said mother-in-law. So I don't know who that could be, but it's maybe somebody related that way. I'm going to leave you with that. Okay, and you can listen to it later, think about it. Sometimes we don't recognize those people right off the bat. Okay, but she's very clear. She comes in very clear. She has 2 children under her. She's overweight. She's had cancer. There's also diabetes in the family, and she might have had it herself. She says diabetes in the family, and this mid-tone brown, blondish kind of hair that's kind of layered. She's from an older generation, more like a grandmother type. Okay, now I'm going to move to the question, which is Cam, and is there future between the two of you? 1 second, please. I like that name. This is for Donna. There is. I feel you have some hesitations. Because I feel he somehow or other feels junior to you in energy, meaning either he's younger than you, literally, or that maybe doesn't earn as much money as you, or maybe just not giving you enough of a strong sense of urgency or attention to you. But there's a sense of him being lighter or younger than you, or junior to you in energy. Does that make sense to you, please?
Yeah.
Okay. And he does have a mind of his own, and I don't feel he's that clear-cut on his path and what he wants to do. There's a bit of truculence or holding back to get involved, and he's going to hold like this for a while. Your best bet is to allow him the space to make his decisions and figure out what he wants to do. And they put in parentheses, this is the divine or spirit guide speaking through me, put in parentheses, when he grows up. Now, I don't know why they're saying that. They're being a little facetious, your guides, if you will. But give him space, because there's a very good possibility he will come round eventually and make that commitment, but it needs to be done on his own time, in his own way, as best he can come to that. Okay, and then you'll have the firm commitment you need. Certainly not, you can't squeeze it out of him, is what they're saying. In the interim, you need to take care of yourself. Okay, you need to not break off with them, but you do need to balance your life. Maybe go out more with friends, do things that you like to do. You feel like you're in more of a rural area. Where is 613? Where do you live, please, Donna?
Yeah, it's in the country.
Yeah, I see country around. It's very pretty, but you do need to balance your life with things you like to do. Now, when you're in the country, I know you're not finding men every moment that you're going to get involved with, but you do need to have fun. So balance it out with fun. Balance it out with your own things that you like to do, and then this person seems like he will come around to you. Go ahead, honey. What were you going to say?
Do you have any timing as to when you might hear from him again?
Well, let's see. Well, you are giving him a lot of space, or he took the space, I see. A few months. Not more than that. And I know that sounds like a long time, right? You're thinking, I want to hear from him right away. But I hear that you do need to take care of yourself right now and do things that you like to do. You may hear from him before then, but it's going to take a few months before he gets to a point where he makes a decision that seems to be more commitment oriented. So when I say a few months, it's the time frame for him to change his mind. You could hear from him in as soon as a week.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you see him and I eventually having a committed relationship or a romantic relationship at some point?
Well, that's what I just said, is in about 3 to 4 months, he's going to make a decision as to whether or not he can be committed to you. And the only way that he's going to arrive at being committed is by you giving him a lot of space and letting him be who he is for now. See, it feels a little bit like an upstart or a rodeo guy or something. Like he's a little bit on the wild side, if you will, and he's got to have that space to be who he is before he can make the commitment. So it all depends, the answer all depends on what you do with him, how you act. If you act too dependent and needy, he's going to feel smothered. If you give him the space to be who he is, it's very likely that he can fall right into your arms and make that commitment.
Does he have love feelings for me?
Okay, so now I'm going to move on to the next person waiting in the queue because I have to. There are other people waiting here. But I do feel that he has feelings for you. You just need to give him space. Okay?
Right now, he acted like quite angry, so that's why I wasn't sure if you'd ever want to talk to me again.
Well, I do feel that he will be connecting with you again, but he's looking for this feeling of not being held back, not being smothered, not being controlled. It's like almost as if he's got a little bit of that Peter Pan syndrome. I want to do what I want to do when I want to do it, and I don't like anybody stifling me. And so you have to give him, it's like giving him rope to feel that he has freedom. When you give him the rope, to feel he has freedom, that's when he comes back to you of his own choice. Ultimately, I do feel he has feelings for you, but it's a lot depends on how you act with him. I don't have time to give you a full reading on the air. If you would like a full reading, I do have a wonderful discount right now, but I do need to go on to the next person waiting. Okay, Donna, I appreciate your donation. Thank you very much, love.
Well, that gives me some hope, because
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if I'd ever hear from him again, because he seemed to be quite angry.
Yeah. I'm sorry, honey, for you. Yeah, I'm sorry that you had that. I know affairs of the heart are so troubling. So, yeah, I do feel that he does care for you, but what's going to happen is when he comes back to revisit the subject, he's going to be looking for having things his own way. So, you're going to have to play that game for a while.
Okay.
Okay, honey?
Yes.
Thank you, love. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye, honey. Yeah, it's difficult. Affairs of the heart are very, very difficult. Okay, let's try to keep this show to matters of the heart. Matters of the other side rather than personal readings. And so we have a donation by Margaret J. And she does say she's in Massachusetts, but I don't have her phone number. She didn't give me that. So let's see if I can figure that out. It probably would be a 504. Let me see. Okay, Margaret, honey, you're going to have to let me know what your phone number is. You can either email me it, because I don't have it here. And I don't know anything other than 504 for Massachusetts. I used to know 617 actually was one. So what I'm going to do, Margaret, while I wait for your response, you can give it to me in the chat room, or you can email me, Laura@spiritmediumlaura.com, your phone number, so I can find you in the queue, honey, because I don't see an area code that I know happens to be for Massachusetts. And then we'll get through to you. Okay, I'm going to go to those people that have been waiting longest in the queue. I'm going to Melvin. Hello, Melvin. It's been so long since I've had a chance to speak with you, darling. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing pretty good, ma'am.
Good, good. Did you finally get a job of some sort? Every time you call in, you're looking for work, you poor baby.
Yes, I have a part-time job for now.
Good, wonderful.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Part-time job for now. So hopefully I can find a full-time job somewhere.
Hopefully.
Yeah. I'm kind of, well, are you doing readings or spiritual messages from spirit?
I'm only doing messages from spirit.
Okay. Well, could you, yes, ma'am. I would like to know, do I have any messages from spirit?
Okay. And now I see, by the way, that Margaret did answer me with 978. Margaret, I do see 978. I will get to you next. Okay, so Melvin, let's see who's there in spirit for you, my dear. And now, I think once before I brought in a father figure for you, and you didn't recognize your father figure, and I broke it down then finally. Maybe it was a composite or it wasn't that clear, but I brought you in. There's some reason for this father. It could be a different father figure. You know, we could have several father figures, by the way, because the term father figure does encompass. It could be uncles, it could be friends of the family, it could be your literal biological father, it could be a stepfather, you know what I mean? It could be a grandpa. But there's a reason for a father figure to want to come through for you again. And that is because I get the sense from whoever it is, and I don't see him just yet, that you need a good father figure. You need a good father figure. That for some reason or that was weak in your life. It wasn't really strong in your life. I'm going to go a little bit further, honey. Let's see. And I also see something about religious background. I don't know who this, if it's for the person in spirit or what that means yet. Oh, okay. Oh, that's interesting. They're using the word, spirit is using the word father figure as if maybe you should have more faith and pray to a father figure like a priest or God or maybe a reverend or someone like that more often. Praying is good for you. And it's like they're twisting this into a personal reading for you. Interesting. I can't force it. Let's just see what else I get. Oh, there is a father figure for you that seems to be a religious figure. So was there somebody close to you when you were growing up that was like a reverend or pastor of a family church that you knew, please?
Yes, some of my father's friends. He was a pastor.
Okay. Well, I believe he's coming in. I'm going to get you a little more information there. And I do see a man. He's wearing, as if he's not a priest, but he's a little bit. He's got wearing a different kind of thing on his head. It's not see, a pastor is not a priest. It's maybe in a Lutheran or more of a Anglo. They call it Anglican church or something like that. But what I see on his head is a square kind of hat that's dark, and it kind of has a little thing on the top of it. I don't know what that is or how that's significant, but I just will present that to you. And I also see him wearing some kind of robes for ceremony if he was doing more of a ceremony like that in a church setting. Now, when you say pastor, are you talking about I keep hearing Anglican. Is it an Anglican church that your father's friend was in?
No, ma'am. Baptist church.
Baptist church. Okay. I don't know Baptists that well, sweetheart. Do they ever wear any kind of robes when they do ceremony?
Oh, yes. Yes, ma'am. They do.
Okay, because I see him in a robe.
But it must be another pastor because I know my father has several pastor friends, but one really particular one, he's still here.
Okay. Well, let me just say which one I'm seeing. He shows me a roundish, smaller kind of face. He shows me himself wearing glasses. He shows me himself the face looks weathered and older. He shows me gray hair, more on the slate, more on the silver gray side versus white. The undertone of the hair is original darker color, brown. It shows me himself as he seems like he's not the tallest man in the world. He seems to have a smaller body, maybe 5'8" or something, a little bit smaller rather than bigger man. He's also giving me a sense, he's slender, giving me a sense of heart problems or heart palpitations. He says around the family a lot growing up. And he also says that he liked to play ball with you and or partner with the family at family outings and family events. He truly felt like he would have liked to have been a father figure to you besides your own father. And so there he comes in to say hello again. Can you recognize this, honey, or is this somebody that perhaps the family fell out of touch with? Because I can see him more in your youthful days.
It may have been when I was really little, and I really can't remember that. But I'm only two guys that I know of, and both is still here.
Okay.
Maybe my older sisters would know, but I was young, very young.
Okay.
When my father passed, I was only 17 when he passed.
Oh my goodness, you poor baby. And that's one of the reasons why you need a father figure, is because your father passed when you were young. Anyway, Spirit is playing a couple of roles here. It's a little confused, but one of them is that there's a father figure, a pastor from Spirit that pops in to say hello to you. He wears glasses. He's a little on the smaller side. He liked to play ball with you when you were a young boy. The other part of this is to say your own father did pass when you were young, and that having a father figure it deprived you. It would have been nice to have a father be able to speak to after he died. You didn't have that. And I also believe by virtue of that, your own father is here to speak to you as well. I think he's trying to come through again. So let's see okay. Now, did your father die suddenly of a heart attack, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And because I feel that. And I remember last time I said I saw him fishing and wearing things like that. He liked to fish. He was an outdoorsman in part. You already confirmed that for me. It was hard for me to get you confirmed that for some reason. I don't know why, but anyway, let me just see what else I bring in about him. He loves you. He just wants to come in today to say, you need a father figure. I'm sorry I'm not around. I've given you more guidance. He says to you, I want to give you guidance now. He says to listen to your heart more. Do what you really want to do. Be more constructive with your time. He says that you're not getting out of the house enough. You're sort of stuck in the house a lot, fiddling around with things that don't need to be taken care of. You're working on, he says, plumbing issues, things like that. He says, let it all go. He says, it's almost like you're trying to make projects for yourself that don't have that are not really constructive for you. So he's encouraging you to get out the house more, live your life more, don't always stay home. It's almost like you're punishing yourself because you don't feel good about yourself because of the issues that we've always been addressing here. So he's coming in today to give you a bit of a pep talk, okay? A bit of a pep talk to get going with your life, with your health, with everything you love to do. He says, even though you don't have a job, there's no reason to stop doing what you love to do. He says, get out more. It's the summer now. It's interesting how he talked about plumbing. Are you working on a plumbing project right now?
No, ma'am. Not right now. No.
Okay, well, don't work on a plumbing project. just get out of the house, okay? Get out of the house and do things you love to do. And he's with you. He says, my fair boy, I'm with you. He says, I haven't forgotten about you. I'm always following you around. Okay, so with that, Melvin, I'm going to let you go, honey, and I'm going to move on to Margaret.
Okay.
Okay, darling. Thank you so much, honey, for calling in. God bless. Thank you, honey. Bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Okay, I'm going to, I think it's Margaret. My mind goes wild when I do this work. I don't even know who I'm talking to after a while because I'm always like I'm in another world. Margaret, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, sweetheart. So that's another area code from New England, 978 from Massachusetts?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay. I'm have to keep that in mind so it can help the...
Northeastern.
Yeah. Well, I know it from New York. I'm thinking of 917 from New York. Okay, sweetheart. There is somebody in spirit. You probably have a few people in spirit, obviously. But I hear something about a family friend. What I'm going to do is just to shorten our time together. Do you want me to just develop who's there, or did you have somebody specific in mind?
You can develop who's there.
Okay. All right. Family friend is a mother figure. Blah 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 blah. Da, 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 da. Okay, mother. When I say mother figure, I start to see somebody materialize in front of me. Lovely woman. I see hair that's on the shorter side. It's curlier. I can see her ears, but it's not real short. It's just a medium short kind of length. And she shows me a darker original color, but in other words, salt and pepper in her hair. White and darker. She shows me a full mouth of teeth, and her upper lip sort of like opens a little bit so I can see some of the teeth, interestingly enough. There's just interesting distinction in the face there. And I don't see, but I hear the word blue eyes. I see glasses. Look like black-rimmed glasses. And I see two different people. One of them is the one with the teeth that more stick out. And then there's another woman who's a little bit more comely, if you will, or a little bit more, they both look like they're in that same generation. There's two women there. And let me see now. She gave me a brush of something before. I need to see if it's still there. There's a few people here. Family friend is here. The older one with the hair is me, she's saying. The older one with the hair is me. Oh, interesting. I never heard them talk about themselves that way. In other words, as if she's giving me a picture of who she is separately from her speaking to me. Okay, so you're the one with the hair. And she says, I don't mind what you said about my teeth. She says they actually were quite attractive in my youth. I was very attractive in my youth. And yeah, I still was attractive as I got older. She gives me the impression of her not having children. So she could have been a grand aunt or an aunt or something like that didn't have any children of her own. She's also giving me the impression of something in front of her, and I can't picture what it is. It's either a harp, that she liked to play music, or that she was a seamstress, and I know that's two extremes. Trying to get it developed here. I see the darker dress. She's from an older generation, so she's in the senior generation, not your mom's generation, but farther back, maybe grandma's generation. And the hair is this brown color now. It goes to a younger age. So I'm going to go for one or two more things. Okay, there is a male now under her. I said before I didn't feel children under her. Now I feel a male under her. So that could mean that she comes in from your father's side of the family and didn't have a child of her own. In other words, it could be an aunt to your father, or she could be your father's mother. Okay, let me see what else I can get. Yeah, and so showing me a male under her. So she's either an aunt, an aunt or grandaunt, or she's your father's mother, one of those three. Family friend also is with her. She brings in a family friend. Okay, could you please hold a family friend aside, please? I'm trying to get you cleared up. Okay, I'm talking to her right now. She's adorable, though. She's very sweet. Okay, something about, I don't know why she would say this, bananas. Something about bananas. I don't know what bananas has to do with all this. Something about.
I don't like bananas.
You don't like bananas? Okay. I know something about bananas. There's something about a bird, a macaw. There's a few other things, but you need to focus. I'm talking to her on what you need to send me. Okay, can't get with the illness, or I can't get how she passed. She's not giving it to me. I keep trying to get it. She's not giving it to me.
An initial?
Nothing like that. She says the family friend is more important than her. Okay. Well, all right. I'll let you bring in the family friend then. This is for Margaret. Okay, family friend is a male, older than you some. I don't know. I'm not making a good connection. What I want you to do is to tell me who you want, because for some reason there's a lot of distractions and or interference here.
My grandmother.
Okay, on your mother's side? On your mother's side, honey?
Yeah, that would be good.
Either one? Okay, either one.
Yeah, either one.
Okay, so did Grandma have a full set of teeth, and that her top lip sort of like was dough shaped, and you could see the teeth sometimes unless she pulled it down, closed her mouth, please.
Possibly. One I didn't know.
Okay.
So repeat.
And that would be on the father's side. Is that correct? The one you didn't know?
No, my mother's side.
You didn't know her. Okay. So about the one that you do you know if her teeth went like that? I guess by virtue of your answer, you didn't. Her teeth didn't go like that. Do you know Nancy Kerrigan? You know Nancy Kerrigan, who was a gold medalist, or she was bronze medalist in the Olympics doing ice dancing, ice skating. Do you know her?
Yeah.
Do you remember how her mouth was? You remember her mouth? Very pretty girl with full head. This is the kind of mouth I see. It's distinctive for this face. Okay? And I'm having trouble.
That could be my father's mother, the one that I knew.
Your father's mother. Okay. That's who we're trying to pull in. Okay? And that she shows me the mouth there, and she says I was very attractive in my youth. She had dark hair originally, but she also shows me the white hair in there. And because I wasn't getting, I just felt like I didn't have a clear connection. Okay, so let me see what else. She's slender, and she shows herself as slender. She says she never had too much weight on her body, even as she got older. She was always able to keep herself in good shape. She says she always watched what she eats. She says she loved her life on Earth. She's a very good caretaker to the family. She loved everybody there. I don't know why I got the sense of her being alone or not having children, because I also felt a male under her. So that was your father's mother. Okay. So there's something about that feeling alone is significant to her, which might have meant that either she was isolated towards the end of her life, or she had to live a long time as a widower, or what have you. I won't conjecture that. I'm just giving you a broad stroke of it. I'm going to go back to her and see what else she wants to show me about herself. Family members, significant others, blah, blah, blah. Grandma, you're going to have to give me more than this. I was alone a lot of the time during my senior years. There weren't people around close to me to take care of me. She says, I didn't mind it though much. She says, I liked my solitary time. She shows me herself more in a suburban setting or a rural setting. In other words, she had her own place to live, and that there weren't a lot of people close to her in that environment. Do you understand that for Grandma, father's mother, please?
Well, we live close to her.
Okay, did she have her own house, honey? Did she have her own house?
She had an apartment, and then she moved to a room, and then and that was very rural.
Oh.
That was about 45 minutes minutes from us. So that could have been when she felt alone.
Yeah.
But then she moved to our town.
Okay. So I'm just trying to follow that thread of feeling alone as if there's no one around her. So maybe it was that time when she was in the rural area in that home there. She says also she did like her privacy. She didn't like people breathing down her throat all the time. And she certainly didn't like to have to be dependent on other people to take care of her, which was that she came closer to you. Did need people around and help her out. She says she couldn't walk very well on her own anymore, and she's laughing a little bit about it. She says, "I lived on, didn't I? Sort of like just hung in there longer than maybe she felt comfortable in her own skin to be on Earth. In other words, she's debilitating slowly over time, needing people to help her, get around, shop for her, do things for her." She says, "Not that I didn't appreciate it." She says she did, and she gives you much love for that. She appreciated everything everyone did for her. She says, but it was really hard for her not to be independent because she likes to be independent. You see, she likes to be independent.
Yeah.
Okay. She says, the rural setting was bad for me. She says, I made that choice on my own. I thought that I could be independent, but I couldn't be. Okay. There's also a girl there, not in spirit. It feels like she had a daughter besides your father. Do you understand? Your father having a sister, you having an aunt, please.
Yes, but she has passed now.
Oh, okay. That's probably why, because I didn't know where she was. I just saw I saw that she had a daughter. Okay, so that aunt is in spirit with her also. She says, we're taking care of each other here. She says, just the way we took care of each other when we were on Earth. She loves you all very much. Your father is doing better with his health these days now, isn't he? So there's something going on. Do your father have some kind of a stroke or some kind of a thing that happened to his health that was fairly debilitating of late?
No.
Okay.
Well, his back bothering him, that's about it.
Okay, but not a big deal, okay? But she's saying something about his health, okay? So his health is better, and she's happy for that. She says everybody's going to be living a long and fruitful life. Don't you worry about that at all. She also shows me that you have under you a child, at least one. I feel it's a male. Do you understand? A son for yourself, please.
Not here.
Oh, interesting.
Wonder if this is actually I don't know. No, it could be a miscarriage, but I also thought it was a girl. But I've heard both, so I don't know because it was early.
Oh, okay. Well, she gives me a sense of you having a child, an offspring, and it was a boy. So that's the sense she gives me, a sense of a male. And I'm not. The gender thing can always be debatable, but she says it was a male soul to be born. She says before it's born, of course, gender is very optional. She says, but it was supposed to be a boy that was supposed to be born to you, and she wants to give you some kind of solace about that, or understanding of how how that soul is now in spirit, and that there's absolutely nothing that's wrong about it. The soul lives on and will be reborn again to another family, and it was supposed to be that way. She gives me a sense of it being sort of difficult for you, if you will. Do you understand, please, of it being a sort of disappointment for you, expecting in one moment, not having the next? Do you understand that, please?
Yes.
And she wants to give you a sense of that soul living on, because she doesn't want you to feel anything was lost. There's continuity to life. She says, just like my own life lives on, and yours will as well. She wants to come in and give you that hope for the future. Now, do you have no children then? At this point, no living children?
I don't have children now.
Ah, so what she was trying to show then in the beginning is no children is you with no children. And the whole point of this was to connect you to the loss of that child. And I think she had an intention to come in today for you, to give you the sense of continuity of life, and to heal you a bit, give you a sense of solace about that.
Has he come into the family now, or will he in the future?
Let me see what she wants to say about that. He will come in the future. He's not ready to be reborn just yet. He will be in a
90 seconds.
Further generation down the family line. He will be coming in, about 2-3 generations. But he came in to help teach you a little bit about loss. Also, the word self-control comes in. Maybe in some respects this child was not planned, or was a surprise or something. I don't know, but something about self-control and also about loss, and that there is no loss.
60 seconds.
That life continues.
No, he was planned. I was
Okay.
A couple of years married, I wanted a child.
Okay. Well, the self-control then is with the grieving process of just to hold on. Life continues. You're not alone. That soul is here with us. And, by the way, he also comes in at times, and I don't like to usually say this, but I have to because they're telling me this male, it's a male child as I can see it, seems to come in at times to give you that feeling of being a mother. So if you ever think about, what it could have, should, or what it would have been like to have been that mother, that's him coming in to visit with you.
Yeah, I always thought it was a girl, though, and I named her, actually.
10 seconds.
Oh,
but, so I'll have to rename him.
Well, you can keep the girl then. Keep the girl if you have a relationship that way. It's not needed because those gender things are optional. It just comes in, that energy came in that way for me. So I don't want you to change what you've been doing.
I've been told both, so it's like, well, maybe I was never pregnant in the first place, but that's interesting. I mean, this was like probably about 24 years ago or so, 23 years ago when this happened.
Yeah, and it's very. So you weren't even sure if you were pregnant, and then you thought that maybe you lost a child. I see.
Well, then I was told by the doctor, because I was having some health issues. And then they said, well, maybe you're pregnant. So they did a test, and they said, yes, you're pregnant. And 3 hours later, they said, no, you're not. And the hormones were there, so I was probably 1 or 2 months pregnant. I don't know. But I lost a child, and yeah.
Yeah, and especially since you wanted a child and you never had any children, it's an area of sensitivity for you. And the whole point of this discernment today was to give you that connection and to know that life continues, and that that this soul comes in to help you feel that sense of being a mother, even though you didn't physically have the child. So it's a healing kind of message for you today, my dear.
Well, also, there's a song by Carole King, Child of Mine. Beautiful song, and I've been listening to that.
Oh.
Listen to it today, and I just love the song. It's so beautiful. So I sing it when I'm in the car. So maybe that's why he has come through to say that he is there for me, that he is there.
I think so. I definitely think so, my dear. Well, have a beautiful and blessed rest of day, Margaret, and thank you so much for your donation, and thank you for calling in, and thank everybody else for listening and calling in. It's been my absolute pleasure to work with you. God bless, and Monday night I come back to Blog Talk Radio at 7 p.m. Eastern Time for life readings, as well as Other Side Connections. Thank you, Margaret.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, honey. Bye-bye, love. Bye-bye. Bye. Okay, thank you everybody for listening. Have a beautiful rest of day. Bye.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.